What? You gotta be fucking kidding me. Well, sorry to say it, but I'm dead fucking serious. For some stupid reason, people have been relentlessly nagging me to cover this film, and I can't figure out for the life of me as to why. A, this is a gaming channel, not a movie channel. B, this is a very odd starring choice for this series, given that it's the fifth entry and a failed attempt at a soft reboot. And C, this movie's 10 years old and people have long since moved on from this steaming pile of crap. But so many of you guys have wanted me to cover this movie, and for this countdown to 100, I am finally gonna relent for you guys. So without further ado, I, Mike Gordon of Perfect Playthroughs, for the first time ever, will be covering a feature-length, okay, that's enough dicking around, onto the actual 7th game of Christmas. The machines rose from the ashes of the nuclear fire. Their war to exterminate mankind had raged for decades, but the final battle would not be fought in the future. It would be fought here in our present. Tonight. So the genesis, if you will, behind the pun literally stemmed from my attempts to search for video game wallpapers to act as my title cards. But instead of posters featuring the Terminator on Sega Genesis, I was instead getting swarmed with movie posters for, well, Terminator Genisys. I liked the pun, so I decided to roll with it with both the intro and wallpaper. The game's really short anyways. It's actually the second shortest perfect playthrough I've covered behind Altered Beast, so I wasn't exactly pressed for time here. Having said all that, this game is brutally difficult and not in a good way, which we'll see in just a moment. Perfect playthrough conditions are pretty straightforward. You just have to beat the game. Difficulty doesn't matter much, so I'll just pick easy to tone down the enemy swarms a bit and gift me with a slightly early machine gun. John Connor's forces had the machines beaten. It had been him alone who had brought the human race back from the brink. They had smashed Skynet's defense grid, and the machines had to find a method of destroying the leader of the human race. A method? The Terminator. Reese, we found the time displacement equipment in the lab complex. You'll need weapons and explosives from munitions to make it over here. Good luck. Okay, I'm on my way. So the text actually scrolls super fast. So before I proceed, idea go ahead and farm enough of these bombs to make it through. And while they sort of look like grenades, they're not. The grenade is just the weapon that we have access to right now. So there are a few reasons why this game is really difficult. The first is that every enemy takes way too many hits to kill or at least to take out. The second reason is there is absolutely no you have absolutely no immunity cycles, meaning you can rack up a shit ton of damage just by touching an enemy. You do have a health bar that makes you really. You have a ton of health though, and you will routinely regenerate health. And also, choosing easy means I get the machine gun way earlier than I normally would have. But enemies as time goes, and while I tone down the swarms a bit by choosing the easiest setting, the enemies still swarm you quite a bit from all sides. So damage can still pile up on you like 10 times over. Another reason, you can't fire your weapon while in motion. You can only fire from a complete standstill. This actually makes this a much more methodical approach to the action platforming genre, and it's not really a run and gun. And that was the first sign, okay, this game is just cheap. You touch an enemy and they will just drain your health just like that. You get absolutely no recovery time whatsoever. Or you get absolutely no immunity frames or recovery time whatsoever. You get hit and hit again, it's all over. White light, pain. Maybe it was like being born? The time travel process had not been pleasant. He felt tired, every inch of his body crafted out in agony. He had already been spotted by the police and time was running out. I've got to find out where the Sarah Connor lives. Her address should be in the phone directory. I'll need to find a weapon to stand a chance against the Terminator. So yeah, enemies just swarm and are hyper aggressive. Like that guy is literally just throwing, lunging Molotov cocktails at us with ruthless abandonment. Like there is no break. And oh yeah, the cheapest thing about this game, even though this game is super short at only 4 levels, you get 1 life and no continues. You die once, the game is over. So yes, this game is super cheap. I mean, it's not hard like Gunstar Heroes or Shinobi 3, where you can where you actually have a shot at winning. This game literally fights dirty. And oh yeah, the cops regenerate. Probably because they're not bad. Probably because they're technically not bad people, so you're just taking them out for a little while. But at the same time, it basically makes your work way harder, because these guys will come back. And honestly, I think this game would have been better received if you actually had immunity frames. But you don't. They hurt you, and they never stop hurting you. Oh yeah, the enemies also respawn endlessly. So even if you do kill an enemy, they will respawn right back. Now, to be fair, this level does give you our first confrontation with the Terminator against Arnie. Even when he's down, you cannot touch him or he'll take a ton of damage. You can only walk past, you can't jump over him, even when he's down. So the only way past him is to knock him down 3 times to get him to blink. Those are invincibility frames that will allow us to pass by safely. Refuge. Having escaped from the Terminator in tech, Reese and Sarah seek refuge in a parking lot, but there was... Why me, Reese? Why does it want me? There was a nuclear war a few years from now. People survived, but nobody knew who started it. It was the machine, Sarah. They saw people as a threat and decided our fate in a microsecond. Extermination. But there was one man who taught us to fight. His name was John Connor. Your unborn son. Captured by the police, Reese and Sarah have been put in separate cells. Reese, now a wanted man, must find a way out and locate Sarah, who risks the apparent safety of the station. As relentless pursues Sarah, the Terminator has tracked them down and is now raging through the police station like fire. As the police attempt to stop this lethal hunter, Reese overpowers his guard and escapes amidst the confusion. We must find Sarah and escape. And yep, for what it's worth, this is the last level where we have to worry about a whole swarm of enemies. But near the end is probably where you will get a ton of game overs, because it don't matter if you're if you're up against the police, against a bunch of thugs, or the Terminator, everyone wants you dead and will prioritize killing you over killing each other. And you don't take, and there's no respite at all. Because there are literally no immunity because there are absolutely no immunity frames in this game. And every enemy takes way too much damage to take out. In some cases you can't even kill them. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep on running. I cannot slow down, I cannot stop for a second. Oh, if you continue running across the roof, you will eventually just fall off the ledge and die. Assuming you can keep on going. And this is where this stage gets cheap and unfair. It took me like a dozen tries to get past this part. You have to literally take out the police officer and the fucking Terminator, who both revive. And they don't stop. And sure, it's one thing when the Terminator's this relentless, but come on! Choose who your enemies are, goddammit! It ain't me, it's the fucking Terminator! And it's also all those other thugs. But anyways, the hard part's over. Now we just have the final battle against the Terminator himself. After escaping from the police station, Reese and Sarah flee to a hotel where Reese is able to make some crude but effective classic explosives. In a desperate and final attempt, Reese nearly succeeds in destroying the cyborg, assailing the massive fire. However, rising from the flames, the hyper-ally Coinbat Chase emerges as an even more formidable opponent. Now the final battle will take place, here, tonight. Reese, what do we do now? Quick, Sarah, in here. We've got to destroy it with the plastic. Actually, what you have to do is lure him into the crusher that actually takes him out in the movie itself. And we actually want to try to keep them on screen for as much as possible, because these enemies will respawn endless. That Terminator will respawn endlessly until you make it to the end of the stage. So you don't want this thing to possibly respawn in a place where it can just gimp you. Fortunately, only one Terminator can spawn in at a time. Oh, he can't go through walls. Just wait here, and that's it. Game's over. Oh, that was fast. With the Terminator destroyed, Sarah started her new life. Reese was dead but lived on in the form of her unborn son. John Connor would protect the human race as Reese had protected Sarah. Now Sarah had to be stronger than she ever imagined she could be to raise the future leader of mankind. And And honestly, I think this is probably one of the weakest games I've covered here on my channel. Definitely one of the weakest Genesis games I've ever played. So I can't say that I'm a big fan of this game, but I'm at least glad I played it. But we have just 5 more games left to cover in our countdown to 100, so the remaining games of Christmas should all be massive improvements from here on out. Tune in tomorrow to see what I have in store for our 8th game of Christmas. And don't forget to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. With all out of the way, this is Mike Gordon, sign out.
I'll be back.